Welcome back to Lincoln Currency, the channel, coin collectors and curious viewers. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Lincoln pennies, specifically the 1-cent coin from 1978 with the D mint mark, minted in Denver. You might think of a penny as just loose change, something you drop in a jar and forget about. But some people are claiming that a 1978 D Lincoln cent has sold, or could sell, for as much as $98 million. Sound unbelievable? Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, created to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's face. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has undergone subtle design changes, but it remained one of the most commonly used coins in everyday transactions. The 1978 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D beneath the year on the obverse side. That year, the U.S. Mint struck over 4.2 billion of these coins. Yes, billion with a B, so they're not exactly rare in the traditional sense. You probably have a few in an old jar, or your parents do. But not all 1978 D pennies are created equal. So, why are people saying some of these pennies are worth big money? Like, absurd amounts. That's where it gets interesting. First, we have to understand what collectors look for. Coin value is driven by rarity, condition, mint errors, and provenance. If a coin is in exceptional condition, what collectors call mint state, or MS, especially at the higher end like MS-67 or MS-68, its value can skyrocket. Add a rare minting error to that mix, like a doubled die, off-center strike, or a wrong planchet, and suddenly, you're no longer holding a penny, but a valuable collector's item. The majority of 1978 D Lincoln cents are made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. At that time, the U.S. Mint had not yet transitioned to the copper-plated zinc composition that started in mid-1982. Because copper has intrinsic value, some people hoard pre-1982 pennies just for their metal content. But the real value isn't just in the metal. It's in the details. Now, over the years, there have been a few examples of 1978 D Lincoln pennies that stood out for unusual reasons. Some had strong, visible die cracks. Others featured doubling on the date or mint mark. These era coins can fetch hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars if they're authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. For example, a high-grade MS-67 red 1978 D Lincoln cent has sold at auction for over $1,000 due to its near-perfect condition and deep red luster. But that brings us to the big claim, the supposed $98 million penny. Let's be absolutely clear, no 1978 D Lincoln cent has ever sold for $98 million. That number is pure exaggeration or the result of viral internet misinformation. Sometimes these huge figures circulate as clickbait on social media or misinterpreted listings on eBay, where someone might list a coin for millions, not expecting to actually sell it at that price. It's like listing a common stone on eBay for $5 million. Anyone can do it, but that doesn't mean it's worth that. Still, the reason why these stories catch fire is that there are coins that have fetched millions, just not 1978 D Lincoln cents. Coins like the 1933 Double Eagle, the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar, or even an ultra-rare 1943 copper penny have been known to cross the $1 million mark. Those coins are rare, historic, and extremely desirable among serious collectors. So what makes a 1978 D penny valuable in the real world? Condition is the biggest factor. A coin graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, especially if it maintains full red luster without any spots or blemishes, might be worth $50, $100, even over $1,000 in today's market. But for that $98 million number to be real, you need a backstory unlike anything ever seen in the numismatic world. There are a few theoretical scenarios that could drive up the price of a 1978 D penny, though even then, we're not talking $98 million. For example, if a coin was struck on the wrong metal planchet, say a foreign coin blank, and it's in perfect condition, that could significantly increase its value. A known example of a U.S. penny struck on a dime planchet sold for several $1,000s. Imagine a 1978 penny struck on a gold planchet? That would definitely be one of a kind and could set a record, but even then, not $98 million. Now, let's talk about the current market. Copper is hovering at around $4 per pound. A single copper penny contains about 2.5 grams of copper, which makes its melt value around 2 cents, double face value, but nothing life-changing. Collectors, however, are paying for quality and rarity, not melt value. High-grade 1978 cents graded MS66 or MS67 red routinely sell in auctions or online for between $50 and $300 depending on demand. Some sellers post 1978 pennies on online marketplaces for crazy prices, thousands, tens of thousands, even millions. But ask yourself, are those listings showing completed sales? Are buyers really paying those prices? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. They're speculative listings hoping to find someone who believes the hype. But that doesn't mean you should ignore your pocket change. Many people have found valuable coins just by paying attention. If you find a 1978 penny in pristine condition, no scratches, deep red color, and minimal wear, it might be worth getting graded. If you find one with a visible error, like an off-center strike, doubling, or misaligned die, you could have something more valuable. You never know until you look. And that's part of the fun of coin collecting. It combines history, art, and a little bit of treasure hunting. Every coin has a story. The 1978 Lincoln penny is a product of its time, struck at a moment when inflation was high, the U.S. was transitioning its monetary policy, and the copper content of coins was under scrutiny. It's also a reminder that not every valuable thing comes in a flashy package. That penny in your drawer, that old coin jar in your grandfather's attic, could it hold something special? Maybe. But just remember, a coin's value isn't determined by viral headlines or speculative hype. It's determined by its rarity, condition, and the story it tells. So the next time you find a 1978 penny, take a closer look. Check the color, look for signs of errors, and if you think you've found something exceptional, get it checked out. But maybe don't quit your day job expecting a $98 million payday. That said, never stop looking, because the next big discovery could be right in your change. Thanks for watching, and keep collecting. There's always more history in your hands than you realize. Back to the channel, and today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in modern coin collecting history, the 2000 Lincoln penny, specifically the ones that have caught massive attention online due to claims of their unbelievable market values, with some posts and articles suggesting that certain varieties of this coin could be worth as much as $98 million. Yes, you've heard that right, $98 million for a single penny. It's a wild claim, and in this video, we're going to explore the history of the 2000 Lincoln penny, the varieties with mint marks like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, what makes some of these coins potentially valuable, what kinds of errors you should be on the lookout for, how to grade your coins for maximum value, what the market has actually paid for these coins, and ultimately, whether or not this $98 million valuation is even remotely realistic or just an internet myth gone viral. Let's start from the beginning. The 2000 Lincoln cent is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. These coins were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco in the year 2000. The composition of the coin during this time was copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc with a 2.5% copper coating. The obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, which has remained relatively unchanged since 1909. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, a hallmark image of this coin for nearly 50 years. Now, while the 2000 penny is common in circulation and millions were minted, there are a few variations and mint errors that make certain examples more desirable to collectors. Let's break it down further. In 2000, over 5.5 billion pennies were struck in Philadelphia alone, bearing no mint mark. The Denver Mint produced over 8.9 billion with a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins for collectors, marked with an S. With numbers like that, it's obvious that most 2000 Lincoln cents are not rare. However, as with all coin series, it's not just about quantity, it's about rarity, condition, and unique features. And that's where things get interesting. There are certain era varieties and high-grade coins that can command surprising premiums. One of the most well-known errors for the 2000 Lincoln penny is the wide AM reverse variety. Normally, the letters A and M in America on the reverse of the coin are very close together, almost touching. But in some coins minted in Philadelphia in 2000, the A and the M are noticeably spaced apart. This is known as the wide AM variety. This variety was not intended for circulation and is believed to have resulted from the accidental use of a proof die on circulation strikes. As such, the 2000 wide AM penny is a valuable error. If found in high uncirculated condition, such as MS66 or MS67 red, these coins can be worth anywhere from $200 to $600 or more depending on demand and grade. But it doesn't stop there. Collectors and dealers often pay large premiums for coins that are not only era coins but also graded in pristine condition by professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC. Coins graded at MS68 or higher are extremely rare, and in some cases, the registry set demand can push prices even higher. For example, a 2000D penny graded MS68 red by PCGS has sold for several $100s at auction. Similarly, a 2000 penny from Philadelphia in the same top-grade condition has seen comparable pricing. Then there's the world of proof coins. The 2000S proof Lincoln cent was struck for collectors and was not intended for circulation. These coins typically have a mirror-like finish and are often found in excellent condition due to how they're handled. A perfect PR70 deep cameo coin from the San Francisco Mint could be worth between $30 to $75 depending on the market. Not nearly as much as the rumors online might have you believe, but still a nice profit if you found it in a proof set at a garage sale or inherited it in a family collection. Now let's talk about mint errors. Besides the wide AM, there are other rare mint errors that collectors will pay good money for. These include off-center strikes, double dies, die caps, clipped planchets, and struck-through errors. A double die obverse, for instance, might show doubling in the date the word Liberty or In God We Trust. These types of errors, when verified by a grading service, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity and condition. A dramatic off-center strike where more than 50% of the design is missing could bring in $100 or more, especially if the date is still visible. Now that brings us to the question everyone wants to know: where does the $98 million value come from? Is there a 2000 penny worth that much? The short answer is no, not according to any reputable auction house, grading service, or professional numismatic source. The idea of a $98 million penny appears to be a sensationalized claim, likely originating from clickbait articles or misinterpretations of coin values. These kinds of posts circulate online and can mislead readers into believing that everyday pocket change could turn them into multimillionaires overnight. While it's true that some coins have sold for millions, like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent or the 1794 flowing hair dollar, these are truly rare coins with known provenance, extensive historical significance, and unique production anomalies. The 2000 Lincoln cent, even with a mint error or in pristine condition, simply doesn't reach anywhere near that valuation. Still, it's understandable why so many people are excited about these rumors. Everyone dreams of finding treasure in their change, and it's not entirely impossible. Rare coins do turn up in circulation, especially when people cash in old jars of coins, clean out estates, or sell inherited coin collections. That's why it's always a good idea to keep an eye on your pocket change and learn how to spot valuable coins. The key is education. Knowing what to look for, how to authenticate it, and how to get it professionally graded can turn a regular coin into a small fortune, but you have to be realistic about what qualifies as a valuable coin and what is just hype. The current coin market, as of 2025, has seen some fluctuations. Interest in coin collecting has grown due to social media and content creators bringing attention to rare coins. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have seen increased bidding on top population modern coins. As a result, prices for coins graded MS67 and higher have been stable or increasing, especially when registry set builders are competing for the best examples. So if you do happen to find a 2000 penny in uncirculated condition or with a known mint error like the wide AM, it's worth sending it to PCGS or NGC for grading. The cost of grading can be justified if the coin is in top condition and has investment potential. But remember, not every shiny penny is a jackpot. Most 2000 pennies are worth face value, even in decent condition. The copper content isn't high enough to make it valuable for melt, and the high mintage numbers keep the supply well beyond demand for average coins. What really adds value is a combination of condition, rarity, demand, and uniqueness. Whether it's a mint error, a proof coin with exceptional detail, or a perfectly struck business strike in mint state red, those are the pennies that bring premiums in the marketplace. And if you're a new collector, here's some advice. Start by learning grading standards, study varieties and errors, and use tools like magnifying glasses, reference books, and online resources. The Red Book, published annually as a guidebook of United States coins, is a great starting point for beginners. Websites like PCGS CoinFacts and NGC's Variety Plus are also excellent resources to see what types of errors and grades actually exist and what they've sold for in recent auctions. Be cautious of online listings that advertise common coins for millions. They're often misleading or simply false. In conclusion, the 2000 Lincoln cent is a fascinating coin in the world of modern numismatics. While the vast majority are worth just a penny, there are a handful of coins with mint errors, special varieties like the wide AM, or ultra-high grades that can command real premiums. But is any 2000 penny worth $98 million? Absolutely not. That's a myth, a hyperbole, and a viral headline with no factual basis. Still, it doesn't mean your 2000 penny can't be valuable. It just means the value is grounded in rarity, condition, and the real-world marketplace. So go ahead and check your coins, hunt for those wide AMs, inspect for double dies, send your best finds for grading, and who knows, you might not make $98 million, but you could still make a few hundred, maybe even $1,000, all from a single coin in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Lincoln cents and modern coin collecting, be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for more videos where we explore coin history, values, and the stories behind some of the rarest pieces of American currency. Until next time, happy hunting and may your next penny be a treasure.